Tomorrow marks 3 years since the attack killing 13 U.S. service members at the horrific Abbey Gate explosion overseas. Gold Star parents are remembering their loved ones, including our next guests. Joining us now are the parents of Marine Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover, Darin, and Kelly Barnett. Thank you so much for being here. I can't imagine what it's been like, but as you approach this third anniversary, give us, if you would, either of you, whoever wants to go first, just remember your son, who he was and why he served.
Thanks for having us this morning. Why he served? Taylor has always been a person that always wanted to do what's right. He always was a person that when he met someone, he always left them better than when he found them. That continued to his whole life. I'm so proud of him, and I hope that he knows that with everything that I do, everything I say. The fight that we're fighting for him and the other 12. I hope he knows how much I love him and how proud I am of him. Absolutely.
Taylor, she mentioned the fight for those 13. What is the fight you're facing right now, 3 years later? Are there questions that remain unanswered? Is there accountability that remains unaddressed? Like, when you say we're still fighting for our son, explain that to our audience.
100% accountability is what I mean with that. The more I've learned, the more I delved into the inner workings of politics and how this Afghanistan withdrawal went down, I've become angry and less tolerant, and that's what I mean. I'm just angry at accountability, and there's a long list that of people that need to stand up and say, we screwed up, and apologize to us, apologize to the American people for what took place.
Darin, give us a few names. Who's on that list? Who needs to be held accountable for this?
I don't know if we've got enough time for this, but here we go. General Milley, General McKenzie, who was over CENTCOM, he was the CENTCOM commander. You've got Secretary Blinken, Secretary Austin. Those are the main ones in the administration, and then we go down to the unit. We've got Lieutenant Colonel, now Colonel Bradley Whited, and then Captain, now Major Ball, that was responsible, I think, wholeheartedly for what happened there on the ground.
Let me add something to that. The two main players are Biden himself and Harris, who said she was the last one in the room. Those are the two main ones.
Absolutely. I mean, Joe Biden called what happened a success. John Kirby spun it as proud of the withdrawal. And as you mentioned, Kamala Harris in an interview said she was comfortable with that operation after acknowledging that she was the last one in the room. Has anyone reached out to you from the administration? This is 3 years now, and acknowledged, hey, we messed this up. We acknowledge that the loss of your son is preventable. Has any of the people you mentioned at least acknowledged privately in any way in reaching out, hey, we acknowledge what happened?
Biden and Harris, no, of course they have not. They want this swept under the rug. They want us to go away. Unfortunately for them, we're not going away. We do know that, Milley has reached out to us, and we are in the talks with him to get more information and to see what more we can get from him. But as far as the Biden administration, no, they haven't, and they won't.
So Milley reached out, but that's after he was out. So he's after being in power. Sort of a convenient way to look at it. It's like, okay, I know we messed up. I can't say it when I'm in an official position, but now that I'm out, now that I'll reach out. Darin, if you had a chance to sit down with him or with Joe Biden or with Kamala Harris, those who've defended this operation, what would you say to them?
Well, my first question would be, how dare you? How dare you put our men and women in harm's way? How dare you let the Taliban, the entity that we've been fighting for the past 20 years in that war, how dare you put our sons and daughters in harm's way? And I mean, that's just one of many that come to mind. But I want to know what they were thinking. Why the whole 9 yards? I want to know everything. It's a several critical thoughts that they should have had, but didn't. You know, who told you to do it this way? Who told you this? Who told you that? Was the generals on the ground, General Sullivan, Rear Admiral Vasley? What information were you getting in order to make this happen the way that it did?
And Kelly, as a mother, what do you, if you had a chance to sit in the room with one of them, what would you say?
Well, Joe Biden wouldn't know what I was talking about anyway. He probably doesn't remember. What I would say to him is that, you're a father. You knew better. You knew what you were doing. You knew better. And you're going to have to go to your maker with that information. And all I would say is bless you.
Wow. Well, the courage you've shown in these 3 years is incredible. It gives us a sense of the courage of your son, Sergeant Taylor Hoover, whose name needs to be remembered along with the other 12 that lost their life that day as a consequence of a disastrous and hubris foreign policy that disregarded the lives of great Americans like him. Darin Hoover and Kelly Barnett, God bless you both. Thank you for your time this morning.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.